Hey everyone, welcome back to the Rich Souls podcast. This is your host, Saara, and I've got another guest on the show for you today. And I'm really excited about her because she truly is a bridge, and she is bridging the mystical and the practical in entrepreneurship with and for entrepreneurs. Morgan Ipanema is a lawyer, and as like I'm kind of coining her as like everyone's favorite woo-woo lawyer because she really does sit at the intersection of knowing law, obviously being like a certified lawyer, and also somebody who is deeply into the mystical. She's even in a Kundalini training at the moment, which we'll talk about at the start of the episode. But I think it's just like such like a quintessential example of how Morgan bridges the two worlds and how that makes her such like a valued resource to anybody who is an entrepreneur in the like spiritual or even creative or freelancing space, because as she puts it in the episode, like she just kind of gets us and like what we're doing, what our work is about. And we don't have to justify it to a lawyer who might not have ever heard of whatever we're doing. She gets it. And she helps us build the foundation and protection for our businesses so that we are not only bringing our ideas into form and like getting to play with and manifest through our creativity, but so that those creations are protected in the world, which is like fundamental to having a successful business. And so, yeah, I'm just really excited to have her on. It's kind of funny because at the start of the episode, I mean, most of today, this is, it's April 17th when we're recording. So if you're into astrology, you know, probably about the Aries stellium happening right now on April 17th. And we got on the call and I was feeling pretty like frenetic, and she just traveled and was saying she was feeling it too. And honestly, everybody I've talked to today said that they're feeling it, like knows about the astrology. It's just been this like antsy energy. And seriously, through just chatting with Morgan, I just felt my energy like grounding more and more and more. And I just like adore talking with her and hearing about like all of her things, like all of her interests about law, about entrepreneurship, about being a mom, and about the mystical. So it was just a really enjoyable conversation for me. I hope you enjoy it too. And with that, I'm going to send you off into the episode. Enjoy. Okay, well, welcome to the show. Welcome to Rich Souls.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, I'm so excited for our conversation today because I am just so fascinated by you being so mystical and being a lawyer.
Thank you. I recently got more mystical. I am in a Kundalini teacher training right now. So it has been incredible. I feel like I am on a whole other spiritual path right now.
Are you serious? Oh my God.
Yes. I know I should have told you that. You could have asked me some more questions about it, but now you know.
Well, now I'm like, I have questions about this. Like, why? Okay, let's just start there actually, and then we'll get into your story. So, why Kundalini? Why a Kundalini training?
Yeah, so I started Kundalini whenever I got pregnant with my daughter. So she's about 2 now. So I started just a little bit before I got pregnant, and I just loved it. Like I just really resonated with that path, and I've been on it for a while, and I just wanted to deepen something. And I actually manifested this really incredible trade for this teacher training. She is like this incredible priestess, and it just really lined up, and the timing was perfect. I literally have this on my manifestation list, like barter for a Kundalini teacher training. Like I wrote it just a few months ago, and it happened really quickly. So here we are.
So you're learning how to guide Kundalini?
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a 240-hour teacher training. It's pretty intense. It's like every other weekend from like 3 a.m. until 8 p.m.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. It's super intense. I was like, oh, okay. I got exactly what I asked for and not what I thought I was asking for. But yeah, it has been so incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. I was recently talking with a friend about like when you actually get what you want, and then you're like, oh, I actually have to show up for the thing that I want now. A
Yes.
concept.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Like the discipline that it takes is, I didn't expect it. I thought it was going to be like this cute, fun thing. And I'm like, no, I'm in a warrior training. I am literally preparing for like a spiritual war.
I mean, like kind of.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. She was, all right, my teacher was even saying like it's more like a martial art than it is like a traditional yoga teacher training. And I definitely agree. Like it's just, yeah, we're in like 2.5 hour meditations. Like we're in these postures for a really long time.
wow, that is intense. When you were saying it was intense, I'm like, well, Kundalini itself can be intense, but the actual training itself is also
Yes.
intense because you're just, yeah, I mean, 3 a.m.
But that time is so beautiful. Like we do it before the sun comes up. It's called Amrit Vela hours, and it's essentially like, yeah, before the sun comes up, it's like this ambrosial time where the frequency of the world is really low. So you can connect to source a lot easier. And before the sun comes up, you can actually draw energy from the sun. And once the sun is up, the sun is drawing energy from you.
That I've never heard of.
Yeah. So yeah,
Interesting.
your like pre-sunrise meditations can go a little deeper,
Damn. Yeah.
be a little more effective.
Yeah, I think I'll hit my next level in my process if when and if I ever do like any kind of retreat or yeah program that requires waking up at like 3 or 4 in the morning just to meditate because that's when you know.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I've been
Yeah.
there before. Yeah.
Well, maybe my first Kundalini retreat. It'll be
Yeah.
what sparks it for you.
Oh my gosh. I have actually been kind of like entranced by Kundalini recently. So that's why I like my ears perked up when you said that. So I was just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
It's yeah, Kundalini. This is like a little breadcrumb. I'm like, maybe I should pull that thread and see what's out there.
Pull the thread. It's so fascinating. It's like, it's the quickest path, in my opinion.
To what?
Enlightenment, to,
Ooh.
yeah, awakening. Yeah, I guess enlightenment gets kind of a bad rep, but yeah, don't we all want to be enlightened? I do.
Yeah. Well, because it's like specifically about, and for anybody who doesn't know, like who happens to not know, part of Kundalini. I mean, Morgan, you're going to be able to say way more about this, but like, I mean, I always just think of the energy coming from our root chakra, just like spiraling up our each chakra and then connecting to like source or to greater consciousness and all of the manifestations of like what people say that experience is like, which sounds nuts, painful. Yeah, there's the whole spectrum, but
Yes.
it makes me wonder
Yeah,
what's
I mean,
possible.
you're literally working with the atomic force of the universe that sits inside of your root chakra. It's just waiting,
Oh my
just
God.
sitting
Wait, I
there
never thought of
waiting.
it that way. Okay. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
further piquing my
Yeah.
interest. Okay.
Yes.
Also, I just have to say, I feel so grounded talking to you. Like, and honestly, that's the energy that, like, I guess, like, a little bit of the, like, antidote that I needed for, like, that frenetic energy we were talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, I do love, I know you're a Capricorn sun, but I do love, like, Taurus. Like, it's probably the Cap, too.
Yes. Yeah, I have 5 placements in Cap in my fourth house, which is kind of crazy, which is
What's
like
the fourth house?
family,
Family. Oh, yeah, family,
family.
home,
Hmm.
motherhood, mother in general.
Hmm. Hmm.
Damn. Cap
Hmm. I
stellium.
know.
Okay, wait, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That also makes sense for
Yeah.
like your branding and your like your look to me.
Yes. Yes. I wanted it to feel, yeah, like grounded and warm, but also that like Taurus moon is like
Ooh,
very into
yeah.
beauty and like luxury. Um, yeah, all of the feel good things. Like I love like indulging in like
Yeah.
food, physical, like whatever it is.
Yeah.
Probably why I love Kundalini
Oh
too.
my God, I love that. Yeah. Also chic. Your brand is very chic, I would
That
say.
is like business chic is what I'm going for.
I love it. Well, and Capricorn is a feminine sign too. So I feel like people just think of like a finance bro. Well, maybe not, but like I think when I was first learning Capricorns, like finance bro and just like sheets and business, but it's like it is like it can be those things, and it's also like yeah, femininity, and it is an earth sign. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
lovely. Okay, for anybody who doesn't know you, how do you describe what you do?
So I am a business and IP attorney. I've got my own firm and I work with creative entrepreneurs and founders. So still in like that, traditional masculine legal space, but bringing a softer feminine approach to it. And the clients that I work with are like very creative, spiritual, the people who don't want to be working with a traditional law firm.
Yeah, so interesting. And are there a lot of do you are there, I don't know if this is weird to ask, but like do you have a lot of competitors that are like hitting your niche in the way that you are? And I'm just asking because it seems so unique.
So there are a few, but I feel like they usually focus on one thing. So I do business, contracts, and IP. And I see some people, they just do trademarks, or they just do business, or they just do contracts and templates. So I kind of like the like one-stop shop. Yeah, I guess the other competitor would be Grant with Framework, but not even a competitor. Like he's an incredible mentor, and I feel like our brands are already different.
Yeah. And I guess he does. I mean, because you met Grant, maybe we'll kind of go into that like background of who Grant even is. But you met him through, or learned about him rather, through podcast, through the expanded podcast, To Be Magnetics podcast. And yeah, started working with him. So why don't you just share a little bit about that trajectory?
Yeah, I was in a nonprofit job. I kind of exited the legal world. It was legal adjacent, but I was like, I got to get out of here. Was working at a nonprofit, was listening to Expanded, and I heard their attorney on the podcast, Grant, with Framework Law, and I just deeply resonated with him. He was like my first expander into being able to be in the legal profession in like a grounded, aligned way. And yeah, I listened to him and I was like, okay, I've got it next up, TVM. I got to take the aligned action. I'm going to email him. So I set up a time with him. And literally by the end of the call, he was like, well, do you want to come work with me? And I was like, yes. So essentially that was kind of my bridge. So I was still working at the nonprofit full time, but I was taking a few hours with him and really learning the ropes of how to run your own firm, how to do business and IP. And yeah, the rest is history.
Yeah. And that was a couple of years ago, like not even that long ago, right?
Yeah, that was, a little, probably like 2.5 years ago. I started working with him right before I got pregnant with my daughter. So it was literally, we got pregnant in August. So yeah, like just a little under 3 years ago is whenever I reached out to him.
Yeah. The timing is crazy. Also with you, yeah, I remember that part of your path is also you were working simultaneously with the nonprofit and also mentoring under Grant, right? And you were
Yes,
pregnant.
yeah. Yes, yeah. So I was doing the most.
Yes.
And then I definitely knew that that wasn't, going to be a long-term sustainable option. But the universe delivered a test for me 2 weeks postpartum and getting laid off from the nonprofit. So that I already was thinking I probably wasn't going to go back after maternity leave. That was kind of my goal. But the universe was like, we're not even going to make that an option. Like you have to get things moving on your own. So yeah, at that time, he didn't really have the capacity to bring me on. So it was like, okay, what else do I need to be doing? And I was like, I can do this myself actually. And so I did. And here we are.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like it must have been, I wonder if it was so helpful to have such a direct expander, where you could really see his process and what goes into it and be able to see like, yeah, I can do this.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, without that, I wouldn't have been able to because I feel like it's rare that people in this field are so open and sharing of their information. So to find somebody who is so willing to help me and teach me, and even support me, like he was so supportive whenever I decided that I was going to launch my own firm. And I still worked under him for a little bit as I was getting off the ground. So that was so helpful too. And he's still a great resource. Like I'm always going to him for questions
Oh
as
my
they come up.
gosh. That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful, yeah, like mentee relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously his clients like TBM, he has so many amazing clients. But I was able to like see that was also an expander for me. Like, okay, these are the types of clients that do need legal support.
Yeah. And like the legal support that is going to work with where they're at. I mean, I guess that's probably important for like any client, but yeah, I know you talk about just how there can be, and I think like any entrepreneur feels this is like the barriers to entry and like understanding legalese. And a big part of like your ethos is to make law more accessible for people.
Yeah, it's so intentionally gate kept. Like that is literally the purpose is I'm like, I mean, I know who was in charge. It was lawyers in charge of like creating this, but yeah, and it is complicated, but it's not that complicated to where it can't be broken down. And I know like one of your questions was like, how do you know if your attorney's aligned? Like, are they explaining these things to you? Do you actually understand what's going on? Because if you don't, like to me, that's a huge red flag. Like I want my clients to have the knowledge of what is actually going on behind their business structure, behind their contracts, behind their like brand protection and their portfolio.
Yeah, something a mentor told me like 9 years ago now that still sits with me is knowing enough about something in order to recognize if a job is getting done properly and well. And yeah, that makes sense that that would extend to understanding, yeah, how your business operates because you want to, I mean, I don't want to assume that somebody would bamboozle somebody, but especially like in law. And I know like your practice is also different in this way of like not even working on billable hours, right? Like you have your fixed packages, then you have a membership. But historically, like I think we've all seen in like movies or maybe had experiences where, yeah, billable hours are like the standard way that most lawyers operate. And that means like hundreds of dollars on any given hour. That creates a
Yeah.
dependency. That can just spin out.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I have clients that are like, oh, my last lawyer, like I sent them an email or a text and I got a bill for like 2 grand just from like a simple question that they didn't realize, like, okay, well, that attorney is going to take it and run and like do all this research that, yeah, they didn't necessarily agree to. Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm
Yeah.
shook. Okay, let me see how I can bounce back from that because that's crazy.
I know.
Um,
I know.
yeah. Going back to your work with Grant, I'm wondering what like the number one, and maybe like we already kind of spoke to this potentially, but like what is the like number one thing or like a key lesson that you learned from mentoring under him?
Ooh. How to run a lean firm. So most law firms, their overhead is crazy. Like they have all of these different programs. They've got a big office. They've got a bunch of support staff. They've got, um, it's just a very expensive overhead. So like then they do have to have these crazy billable hours and they're still stuck in that traditional system. So that was a huge thing that he showed me. And even just in seeing his processes, I was able to like make it even more lean. Like, okay, we're only using Google. Like Google Workspace is going to be the platform. We're not hopping in and out of like a bunch of different platforms or paying subscriptions on a bunch of platforms that we could easily just streamline through one like program.
Sounds very Capricorn in a way.
Yes.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I would say that would be the number one. And then just his like integrity with how he approaches clients. I would say not all lawyers, but a lot of lawyers aren't living in integrity with how they're interacting with people. And so to see him doing that was just, yeah, such an expander for me.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm curious. I'm like, how did TBM manifest them or manifest him?
Yeah, so Lacey obviously is an incredible businesswoman. And I think that actually Grant's mentor, which is another reason why he was such a great mentor to me, is because he had a great mentor before him. I think he was their like initial IP attorney, and then as he kind of phased out his practice, Grant took over, and then I think he just kind of got in there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Amazing. Also,
yeah,
like, love the chain of like mentor, mentee, mentor, mentee. It's just a beautiful way to give back
yes.
to the profession. And like, I have to imagine, not that like, I have to imagine less people are trying to become lawyers in today's day and age. And we
Yeah,
need people in that profession and other professions that aren't as like desirable or sexy nowadays, but that are critical and that also can be made sexy in the way that you're making law sexy.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It can be sexy. And like having a solid legal structure gives you confidence to grow in your business. And that is going to give you financial freedom. That's sexy. Like having, being able to take control of what is yours, like that is so sexy. Are you kidding me? Like you own your brand. You have clear boundaries with your clients. Like you're able to operate at a level that you quite frankly can't without those legal foundations in place.
It's so true. And I love how you talk about this of like being an entrepreneur is amazing. And like that includes also understanding your business and how like the having that steady foundation so that you can build a business that can grow with your creativity almost. Because
Yeah,
yeah, like you never know how everything's going to evolve with a business. And yeah, it just helps to have that strong foundation. And I think like it's easy, especially as an well, maybe for some entrepreneurs, some creatives to just be like, no, I can do this retroactively. It's not a big deal. But then I know I've like,
that's the worst.
yeah, like
Cleaning up
I've heard,
mistakes.
well, like some people have to change their entire business name because,
Yeah,
yeah, it's being used by somebody else
completely.
because they didn't, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Like, do you know Courtney Johnson?
yes.
Um, an amazing client of mine as well, which that was a fun story too. I'll tell that one next. Um, yeah, she started this whole yoga brand. This was her first business. She
Did
started a
she?
whole yoga brand. Yeah, it was like a yoga mat brand. Literally got a cease and desist, had to close down the whole business because she didn't have the right, she didn't have me in her corner yet. But I cold DM'd her. I was like, hey, do you need a lawyer? Like, I really want to work with you. I love what you're doing. And we started working
Oh
together
my gosh.
from there. Yeah,
Yeah.
which that honestly might not be ethical, but hey, it's fine. She
Wait,
needed
why?
me.
Why not?
There's like ethics around attorney advertising and like solicitation of clients.
Really?
Um, yeah, yeah, there's a lot of which I'm like, why do we have to have so many ethical constraints? Because we've had very non-ethical people in the past who are preying on clients. Like the traditional one is like ambulance chasers, which is like personal injury people, like going to like the site of a crash and being like, here, let me help you.
Or people arrested? Like, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
That's so interesting though, because I feel like that's maybe another way that access to legal support is gatekept for people
Yes.
who need
Yeah.
it, who are some of the people who need it regularly,
The
like
most. Yeah.
entrepreneurs. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did you end up in law?
Yeah, so this is kind of a funny story. I was in my third year of college. I was getting a marketing degree, and I was watching this documentary called Chasing Coral. Have you seen it?
No.
Oh my God. Well, I know what you're doing tonight. It's this documentary about how the coral reefs are dying, and it's all of these like environmentalists. And one of the guys on there, he was also in marketing, and he was like, we were like in a meeting fighting over toilet paper, like how we're gonna brand this or something so stupid. And he was like, the coral reefs are literally dying. What am I doing sitting here talking about toilet paper? Like, I have to go do something. And that really ignited something in me, like, what am I doing with this marketing degree that I don't actually like? Not that marketing can't be used in like a beautifully conscious way. It certainly can. I wasn't doing that at the time though. And so, yeah, that just really ignited something in me to like want to save the world and help our planet. So initially, when I went to law school, I thought I was going to be an environmental lawyer. And I was the president of our environmental law club. I was like all gung ho, like, we're saving the world. And then once I really got into it, I realized how administrative it is, how really boring it is. And I was like, okay, we're going to pivot. Got into constitutional law, civil rights. That was super interesting to me. I interned with the ACLU during law school. So I was exposed to a lot of civil rights and constitutional things through that. And then, yeah, worked at some firms. I actually worked at a real estate firm out of Austin for my first job out of law school. Yeah, and that was kind of the path. And then, yeah, went and worked for the nonprofit and then started working for Grant. And then now we've got our own firm.
Yeah, that's so exciting. And when you say we, you mean you and your husband? Yeah.
Yes, yes. So my husband is not an attorney, disclaimer, but he helps with basically all of the business operations side of it. He is an entrepreneur himself as well. So he brings a really cool lens to how we approach everything, how we approach like growth and strategy. And yeah, so he started working for the firm about 6 months after my daughter was born, I think, because he was working for a soccer team. He was traveling on weekends, and I was like, I cannot do this on my own. I cannot take care of this baby by myself and try to really put this thing out there. And so, yeah, we made the decision that instead of like investing in traditional childcare, which we weren't necessarily interested in, we really value like being with her as much as we can. So yeah, we made the decision that we were going to just take this leap together and see where it goes. And so far, so good. It's been successful. I feel like the universe has definitely rewarded the bets we've taken on ourselves.
Yeah, I feel like too, in terms of your marketing, and I wonder if he's like part of the brains behind it. It feels like you've been everywhere. Like on Instagram, on Substack, obviously at South by,
Yeah.
probably other places too, but I just feel like I've seen you like putting yourself out there for the firm a lot, and it's been really cool because yeah, I don't know, I'm not usually seeing that kind of like, I guess, lawyer content, but like lawyer content that I actually want to watch.
Yeah, that like actually benefits you because you're learning something and totally. Yeah, he definitely helps with all of that.
Yeah. And also at South by, I was so, what's the word? I don't even know what the word is. I was so pleased is the word that I'm thinking of. Just like it warmed my heart to see how you interacted with the audience. Which, by the way, we didn't meet at South by because I actually just had a guest. I had Morgan O'Hare on, who I did meet at South by. But
Yes.
yeah, I just was like, my heart was so warmed with you just answering everybody's questions about their business setup and you taking like a good portion of like the talk to like help people, and you just made it so digestible. And I think that goes back to what we were talking about earlier of like making legalese or just like law more accessible to more people. And I'm curious why you think that's important and like what your approach is to doing that.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it is around information equity. Like we are definitely in the information age, but we don't all have access to the same knowledge. And in getting a law degree, I recognize the privilege that has and that I have, and the knowledge that I now have access to that a lot of people don't, and that a lot of people could benefit from having. And so, yeah, I just feel like it is my like dharma to share this.
Okay. Well, I kind of want to go into almost like the energetic polarity part of it because obviously law is like thought of as super masculine. I've seen you reference it as like hyper masculine. And obviously you are a woman with like a your double Venus signs, double Earth signs, like in the mix. And so I'm just curious of like this process of establishing your business, which I think you even market as like a woman led or woman founded law
Female
firm.
founded, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, what's it been like navigating that hyper masculine world as you were going through your education? And then what was it like then building your own thing within that world?
Yeah. So I actually got a really incredible astrology reading just like a month ago. And she was like, your chart is so dynamic. Like you hold that polarity in multiple ways and multiple houses and multiple planets. Like certain planets are in the opposite sign that they should be in quotes. Um, and so I have a lot of dynamic traits about me. I'm able to hold that like sort of polarity. I also have a yod, which is
What's
like the
that?
finger of God.
What's that?
It's called the finger of God, and it is essentially like a hyper dynamic thing. So like two planets are like conjunct another planet, but I don't really understand much of it yet.
I need to
But
look it up later.
yeah, it's really interesting. Apparently, a lot of celebrities and famous people have them. And it essentially, because they were so misunderstood as children, and they held such polarity as children, as adults, they're able to hold it better. And yeah, so I feel like that really was eye-opening for me to be like confirmed that I'm feeling this way and that's why. Um, yeah. And I just feel like, yeah, I'm kind of a bridge from this old world of doing things and even like being like a mompreneur, like being a working mom. Like my mom had to drop me off at daycare at 6 weeks old to get back to work. And like that era was such about, like female empowerment through career. And then now there's also this like shift, like pendulum swing back into like trad wife era of like, being the mom who does it all. And so I feel like there's a really beautiful balance that I'm trying to bring forward and holding those polarities.
How would you say that manifests in your like week to week?
Ooh. So I try to be really conscious of how my cycle is. So I try to sync up my like work and life around my cycle, which this most recent cycle was completely synced with the moon. I literally started the night of the full moon and I was like, oh, I am a powerful red witch.
A red
My time has
woman.
come.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I think a lot of it is just, yeah, trying to be aware of those cycles, and curating my like work and social calendar around that. And then also having, just support. So like having the balance with my husband to be able to, take her to the park, my daughter to the park if I'm not feeling like getting into heavy work or, yeah, just really being softer and more flexible in that way. Because the Capricorn in me is like, okay, we're working 9 to 5, we're doing this. But the like magnetic mother of me is like, no, I need to be here and I need to be flowing and I need to be soft. And there's definitely time for like structured work, but I really like to do that out of the house too. Like I like to go work at like a coffee shop for like 2 hours and just like really knock everything out. And then leave my other fun work for at home or in the in between.
What's your fun work?
Like marketing ideas or yeah, I would say that's the fun one right now. I need to look through my clients and kind of create like categories. And so I'm really excited for that because I have some like astrologists, some witches, some like healers. Like I've got such like these incredible categories. So that's like a fun project that I'm excited to dig into this weekend,
Yeah.
probably.
Oh my gosh, that does sound
Yeah.
fun. And then I'm like so curious of all those like all of the categories and just seeing like
Yes.
who your client base is because I was thinking of this last week as I was like developing the questions of like I feel like you're everyone's favorite woo-woo lawyer, basically.
Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm taking that. Everyone's favorite woo-woo lawyer is perfect.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to start highlighting some of my clients too.
Oh,
So
that's fun.
I'm excited to share that side of it as well.
Yeah. Um, which on that note, how would you say that your clients find their way to you? I mean, obviously you shared some of like you've reached out to like Courtney, but
Honestly, a lot of my clients come through organic connections, which like I haven't really had to necessarily market. And I don't really get clients coming through like social media. Like that's not typically how my clients find me. It's yeah, just getting into like entrepreneur groups. I'm in a Kundalini membership, or I have been in the past. Um, that's called Benshin, which I highly recommend if you're getting interested in Kundalini. They do morning meditations that are so beautiful and they have tons of resources. But getting involved there, like I hosted a legal workshop for their membership. They do a business membership as well. So finding like aligned entrepreneur groups has been a big one. So and like obviously when there's an organic connection like Kundalini, that just opens the door.
yeah, that makes a ton of sense. I can see how that would lead to a lot of organic growth because I mean, and I feel like I've heard this before, but it's like when you follow your interests and your passions, you'll just meet people who share those, and then you might also have other things in common. And like everybody does need, like any entrepreneur is going to need a lawyer at some point.
Yes.
And a lot of them may not want to
Yes.
deal with a lawyer. And then so if they meet a cool lawyer like you
Exactly.
who also likes Kundalini, it's like, oh, no brainer.
Exactly. Exactly. But yeah, the organic connections have always been the best. And then most entrepreneurs are also friends with other entrepreneurs that are in similar spaces. So that just further opens the doors.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so going back to like the world of law, I feel like I read at one point on your Substack about how as you were going through, I think your education, or maybe like once you were getting into, well, I think it was in your education that you were feeling the like a friction between being like a woman and like a beautiful woman, and then also someone who's trying to become a lawyer and like feeling, yeah, like conflicted. And I'm just so curious of that, like, yeah, how you've reconciled that and like reframed that if you have.
Yeah, I haven't reconciled it yet. Certainly, I haven't reconciled it. I feel like that's a deep wound for me, something that I feel like as a child, I was always praised for my intelligence. And like it was expected that I get straight A's, and like it was just expected that I was going to do and be all of these things. But I have definitely over identified with that at certain times. So right now I'm really trying to find the balance of like not putting my whole identity into like being a lawyer, like because that's just such an ego trip, like, and that's an easy one to go on. But also like not just being like a beautiful woman. So I'm definitely still trying to find the balance of all of that and just like how I do show up. Is it wearing like a flowy skirt? Like you're not going to see many attorneys wearing that. You're going to see suits. You're going to see like traditional, suits essentially. Like
Gray suit,
yeah,
blue suit, black
gray
suit.
suit, blue suit.
Yeah. Blue
Mm-hmm.
tie, black
Yeah.
suit, black tie, black suit. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And
Yeah.
there's not like there's some people that kind of, but like a suit doesn't align with who I am. So that model like never fit. There were certainly women who were able to do that in a really beautiful way that was super authentic to them. And I have some friends that definitely fit that mold and wear that stuff beautifully. But for me, that just isn't me. Like, I don't want to be in that. I want to be in like my cashmere top and my like linen skirt and like barefoot.
Yeah, yeah. Wait, are suits really that prevalent? Like it's just kind of a part of the deal?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like they are. I mean, yeah, at least like business casual, like even like business casual is like boring. Business casual. Like
Yeah.
it's like,
Like
yeah,
yeah. Super
just
like
like
what were you gonna say?
stuffy.
Stuffy, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like stuffy. Yeah, and just masculine. Like it just
Masculine.
all feels masculine.
Like,
Even if you're
mm-hmm.
wearing like a suit with like a skirt, like that still feels masculine to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I think the word I'm thinking of too is like homogenized or like homogenization. It's like
Yes.
everything's the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I can
Hmm.
imagine like kind of being like a unicorn, so to speak, or just standing out. Yeah, can be
Yeah.
interesting in law. Like now my mind's trying to wrap my head around like how that could be
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Elle Woods is like
Oh
the perfect
yeah.
example of like, yeah, that's like the female version, but like that also doesn't align with me. Like I'm not wearing all pink. I'm not like, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So interesting. Okay, so what does Ipanema Law do that's different from a typical law firm?
So I think one, we're a one-stop shop for like business formations, contracts, and trademarking and copywriting. So that's going to be your IP essentially that we really protect. So for most entrepreneurs, they can get everything that they need to have done with us, which I think is a huge sell because most people, they're like, oh, well, let me call my trademark lawyer. Let me call this lawyer. Let me call, you know, each type. And so the fact that we've got everything in house makes it really convenient. And just like as I'm working with clients, like the more that I know it, it cuts down time on everything else and the back and forth because I already know their type of business. And I know their business goals and where the direction that they're heading. So I think that makes us really different. Also, we're online, so we don't have the huge overhead and that other law firms have, which is definitely a perk because we don't have to pass that cost off to our clients. And then I think just the approach that I bring to it feels more grounded and aligned, and we work with you don't have to explain your woo-woo stuff to me because I already get it. Whereas if you were going with a traditional firm, explain like, okay, tell them about your, this clearing spray that you want to get trademarked. Like they're like, what's a clearing spray? What is like they don't even understand. Yeah, so I think that just my approach to it is more holistic in that sense that I already get all of the woo woo that you would be bringing.
Yeah, that seems really important. Like even for filing taxes this past year, there are things, and I know this is like more accounting related, but I know you also work with an accountant, or you have like an accountant that you recommend who probably I'm imagining has some synergy here too. But yeah, there are like certain trainings I had where I ended up like taking them off. But I think technically if I like had the guidance, I probably could have like made them deductible. But
Yeah,
yeah, because they like look woo on paper, but it's more about the framing.
exactly. It's
Yeah.
all about the framing. Yeah. And even being able to like for a trademark, for example, like they have very formal, specific language that if you don't understand the woo woo, it's hard to translate into that in a way that actually protects your brand.
Can you explain to me why lawyers are typically so specialized in like these different fragments? Like, why aren't more lawyers doing all of this?
Hmm. I'm not sure. I think that because it does work, like you can certainly set up a trademark practice and just run that, and that's easy. But for me, it's more than just a transaction or a filing. It's like offering the relationship. And I want to be people's attorney from before inception to whenever they sell for millions of dollars down the line. Like, I want to be with you through that whole process.
That's amazing. I love that so much. And also it's like speaking to, I think like maybe the reason that's been specialized, I'm sure there's like also like financial benefits, but
complex. Yeah.
and it can get more complex. Yeah. And if they're specialized in it, then they really know the ins and outs and can take like a ton of clients. But, and I don't want to discredit that. And I wonder if like it's part of just how things have been done potentially. I don't know. I just have to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And honestly, the legal world is like 10 years behind like on everything. So I feel like it is just a lagging field. And so even just being innovative, like you're getting ahead of so many people. So I really tried to bring a more innovative approach to it. And I feel like, I mean, we're getting into the new paradigm. Like,
yeah,
that isn't, the old law firms aren't going to stay around. They just can't. That model will not work in the new paradigm. So they better get on board.
Oh, what about it isn't going to work?
Just the soul, like, I don't think anything that is purely transactional is going to work in the new paradigm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I need to catch up on Jenna Zoe's Substack.
It's so good. I adore her. She's amazing.
She is. By the way, I think I'm taking this from one of your articles for the episode title, Lawyering in the New Paradigm. Because it's so perfect. I have to use it.
Yes.
Okay. So you've been building out your firm now for, you said 2.5, 3 years?
2 years. Yeah.
2 years.
2 years. Yeah. So I filed the like formal paperwork the month after my daughter was born. So there was probably like a 6 to 12-month period where I was still working underneath Grant and like building out my own clientele. But yeah, we've been up and running for 2 years now, almost 2 years in June.
Okay. Can we like dive deeper into you having your daughter and also launching your business so close to each other? Because what the heck was that like? Like, was it like natural? Did it just like make sense and it like the path revealed itself?
So natural. It was so natural. Like having a child, I mean, my whole world view was flipped upside down. Like the moment she was placed on my chest, like she just became like the top priority and everything else moved down. So like it totally changed my perspective on like building and working and time and the why behind all of it. And I think it's really easy to like get in the rat race, but like having a daughter, having a child really just totally changed my perspective on what I'm using my time, how I'm using my time, what I'm building. And yeah, it just really totally flipped my perspective, and it lit a fire underneath creating the life that I wanted to have with her.
Wow. I'm just like taking that in.
Like it was just so easy. Like it was just like, okay, this is the next step, and this is the next step, and this is the next step. And yeah, there was just kind of no going back. Like, and yeah, I'm sure she spiritually had some part to play in all of that.
Wow.
She's my little Gemini, so.
Oh, okay. What's her sun and her moon?
So she's a Gemini sun and she's a Cancer
rising.
moon.
Okay, sorry, I meant her rising. Cancer moon.
And she's a Capricorn rising. Oh! So we've got a little,
Okay.
crossover there.
Yeah. Okay. And then also I keep meaning to ask you this, like whenever I'm hearing you say something, but I don't think I know your human design.
I'm a generator.
Okay.
I'm a 6-2.
Okay, that makes sense. I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then do you know your authority?
Sacral.
Okay. Yeah.
Which I totally resonate with. Like whenever I know, I just know. Yeah. What are yours?
I'm a 5-1 emotional generator.
Okay.
And I wish I had a sacral authority often because like just to know, because yeah, I feel like it takes a long time for me to get clarity and make decisions, but I'm also learning to like love the process of coming to a decision and like not rushing myself through it, which human design has given me a lot of
Yeah,
licensing to do with the emotional authority.
totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's so
So
cool.
when it comes to like launching the firm, you were just saying like you were kind of just taking one step after another and like the steps were revealing themselves. What was your like I guess I'm curious about your intuition in that process. Like what was your how was your relationship to your intuition evolving after becoming a mother and as you were making a significant life change into motherhood and also launching your business?
Yeah. So one, I had a really good model. Like Grant's firm was like a really incredible model for me to work off of in terms of how I wanted to put everything out there, how I wanted to communicate the services. Um, but then the new like motherhood lens brought like a softness and a femininity to it. Um, yeah. And I just, motherhood ignites your intuition. Like there is a like no bullshit policy whenever you are like freshly postpartum. Like I have not had that level of like fierceness. Which is kind of crazy because you're like in one of the most like vulnerable, soft times of your life, but like I felt like a fierce like mother, like collie energy.
Yeah. I saw this clip the other day, maybe it was yesterday, but of a lioness, and a cub and then a lion. Do you know what I'm
Yes,
talking
I
about?
saw that.
Because
Yes.
the lion was like picking on the
Yes.
cub, and then the lioness like batted the lion and then just like stared him in the eyes because he hit the cub while they were feeding, I
Yeah.
think too. Yeah, that was so powerful. Yeah, just
Yes.
how the feminine is fierce. Especially when it comes
Totally.
to their cubs.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I just flashed back to this. Like, we were eating at a restaurant one time, and she was like just a few months old, and we were still like being careful as we go out. And this old woman walks by and like reaches over to like get in
No.
Ivy's face. And I was like, get away from her. Like, I turned into a monster so quickly, but I was like, this like sick old woman needs to get out of my baby's face. Like, what are you doing? Like, no, no, we're not having that. Like, I'm sorry I just yelled at you in a restaurant, but like, check yourself,
Yeah.
Granny.
Also, yeah, I wonder what it's gonna be like being a granny because I'm like, why on earth would somebody do that to a baby? Just like go into a baby's face if they don't even know the child, they don't know the
That
baby.
generation, I swear to God,
Oh
like,
yeah, maybe that's
uh,
it.
yeah, they just like, yeah, different times, I guess, but I'm
Different
just like,
times.
where's the social awareness?
Yeah.
It
No,
doesn't
truly,
exist.
truly. Okay, so like you were launching the business and then your husband ended up joining, I think a few months after the fact.
Yeah, about 6 months after.
So, okay, what has it been like building out the firm with your husband? And he's full time with the firm now, right? You said he was with the soccer team
Yes.
before. Okay, yeah. So,
Yeah.
what's that been like?
Oh, it has been dynamic. It is like so fun at times, and then it's also so challenging at times. And it's hard to, because we have like this very fluid relationship with work and caretaking. It's hard to like shut that off at the end of the day. So, but it's also like we love the flexibility of being able to work in the evening if we didn't want to during the day. So, finding the boundaries between all of that has been such a test, but also so rewarding. I feel like it's brought us so much closer. And now, like, instead of just viewing him at, like, I view him as my partner, like my business partner, my parenting partner, my life partner in such a deeper way because our lives are so intertwined in so many ways. So, yeah, it's been really beautiful. not always easy. Definitely not always easy. Like there's things that come up that it's not fun, but we work through it really beautifully, and it's definitely brought us closer.
Yeah. I feel like it's also, yeah, your story is just so interesting because there have just been so many like milestones in quick succession, and then like also atypical ways of your journey has been very like, what is I was trying to say? Your journey has been like uncharted, I guess. Like there isn't a fully a model for the way that you've built out your business and your lifestyle. And I was talking with
Exactly.
yeah, I was talking with a guest recently about this concept of like we can take the path that has been charted before, and that's gonna everybody knows what that feels like, right? Because most people start out on
Mm-hmm.
that path until they end up carving their own if they do that. And both paths are challenging in their own ways. It's just that you don't really necessarily like know the challenges that might come up on your uncharted path. And it's about like having that
Mm-hmm.
adaptability and openness, and in your case too, like, and maybe like in everybody's case, is like that collaborative nature to work it out.
Yeah, yeah. And that was just so much more exciting to me to take that uncharted path. Because yeah, I saw the model and I was like, no, that ain't it.
No.
So it kind of seemed like the only option. Like there may have been two paths, but like I really only saw the one.
Such a bar. That's so true. Yeah. I feel like that I've felt that before, and it's just so kind of like liberating in a way. Just be like, I know I
Yeah,
have options, but like this is the only option. It's like a very like for me it can feel like it's in my body. Um
yeah.
yeah. And it makes the decision easy even if the results of the decision isn't always easy. So,
Totally, totally. Yeah. And I mean, people totally thought we were crazy. They were like, you guys are doing what? You have a baby. Like,
a
what are
newborn
you
baby.
doing?
Yeah.
A newborn baby. Yeah. But yeah, it was really, I think the only option. Yeah.
And look where you are now.
Mm-hmm.
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 Okay. What is when somebody's done like setting up their business initially, what do you find are like common places that they get stuck on?
Yeah, so contracts would be the first one. They probably are using outdated templates or templates that don't necessarily fit their business. So contracts is like typically the next place we start. But probably, I wouldn't say more importantly, but also equally important is the brand protection side. So they might have like registered their LLC, but is their brand name trademarkable? Or are you going to get a cease and desist as soon as you launch your brand? So that's like the lens that I like to bring whenever we are initially structuring. And you can always change your LLC name. That's not the biggest deal, but you are putting yourself out there already. Like you've already built like goodwill and a reputation around whatever you're operating as. So I like to make sure that that is like clear from a brand protection standpoint, because a trademark is going, a trademark is like a shield and a sword, and that it allows you to stop other people from using your a similar name in a similar market. But it also is a shield, and that if somebody tries to stop you from using that name, you can say, "Hey, I've got a registered trademark," and that is essentially like the end of it. It's like the end of the conversation. So yeah, I would say a lot of people miss the brands protection side from the early stage, and I think it's something to really consider as you're starting out.
Noted. To text you.
You're like,
I'm like,
call Morgan tomorrow.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
that's how it
it's
happens. It's literally that's how it happens. You don't think you need it, and then you do. And then it might be too late.
exactly, exactly. And that's the worst part is whenever it is too late. Like, that's why I love getting with people before we can always, like, redo filings. I also see people file in the wrong state like
Yeah,
all the
in
time.
Delaware.
They're like, I'm in Delaware.
Yeah.
Like, why? You're not operating in Delaware. You're gonna be filing in Texas too. So like, let's streamline this. Yeah.
Yep.
The entity side is easier to clean up than one operating without contracts. That is going to always come back around. If you don't have solid contracts, that is like one of the biggest red flags. Even in terms of like you're hiring a freelancer to build your brand, like if there's not proper assignment and work for hire clauses in there, they own your brand. They still own it. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like number 2 on the list to ask Morgan about.
Yeah.
We'll do your legal audit after this.
Okay. Yeah. I'm percolating, but I definitely, I mean, yeah, especially with creatives, I think it's easy to have handshake deals with friends. And it's like,
those are the saddest ones. I have like the saddest stories of like friendships ended and people are out tens of thousands of dollars because they thought that a handshake would suffice, and it just doesn't. And I think it discredits what you're building. Like, I think that having strong contracts, it's like your boundaries. It is like what you can always reference back to, because something is going to come up. And then it's he said, she said, and it's in the moment, emotions are heightened. It's like there's a way to, from the beginning, like objectively agree to these things. And then it's so much easier to just reference back, like, okay, well, if you want to exit the partnership, here's how we do that. If you want to do XYZ, here's exactly how we do that. And we've already agreed to it. And there's now not more emotions on top of what's probably already like a volatile situation.
yeah, that's so real. I feel like there's something to be said about laying that foundation, which I feel like you talk about like often. But yeah, when you're not in an emotional state, like laying out those parameters, not with the hope of like ever having to use them, but if you do have to use them, then they are in place and your business is protected.
Yes. And I promise you, buying a contract is a lot cheaper than enforcing a handshake deal in court.
Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Like,
Well,
you think I'm expensive? Wait until you see a litigator's fees. They're far more expensive.
yeah. Oh my gosh. So real. And also, like, not to mention the heartache. And like, if you lose your
Yeah.
IP, it's like that's something that you created from your brain or whatever wherever it's coming
Yes.
from. And yeah, if you lose that, even after you've already like put money into it, I mean, like, gosh, I can imagine that's like very heartbreaking. Because
Yeah,
like
yeah.
our
And
creative
people
stuff is like,
invest too heavily in branding before they've done like a proper clearance check,
yeah,
which is also like a big
real.
no-no on that. Like, just, yeah, get it done and you never have to worry about it again. Like, once you have a trademark, you don't have to worry about it for like 6 years. And then you just prove that you're still using it and then you keep going on.
There you
Like, it
go.
is so
Yeah.
much easier.
Yeah. Yeah. And you don't have it in the back of your head that you should be doing it, but you haven't done
Yes.
it yet. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Like, somebody could literally pop up tomorrow and tell you to stop using that name. And you can still rely on like common law rights, but it's so like it's more complicated to do than just being like, here's my registered trademark, end of conversation.
Yeah. And the whole point too of like other lawyers aren't as accessible as well. So even if you wanted to fight something and you might have a hard time, not only the fees when you find somebody, but a hard time even finding the right person if you find them. So
Exactly,
yeah. Do
exactly.
you do litigation as well?
I don't litigate, but I do dispute resolution. So I'll try to help people like settle, or I'll send demand letters on their behalf if it's like IP infringement or outstanding invoices, things like that. But I like to come in and like try to handle it before it gets to litigation.
Fair. Fair.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, what's next for you and Ipanema Law?
I don't know. I guess we just continue growing and yeah, I'm just excited to continue building out this business, and maybe we'll take on an intern. Maybe we'll bring on, I would definitely like to partner with like a contracted attorney, kind of like find another mentee like Grant did for me. I definitely see that in the future, in the near future, probably. So, yeah, I think we just continue growing and building.
Yeah, love it. Okay, we're going to get into the closing questions. So, first one is, what's the essence that you feel you bring to the world?
I think I bring like a dynamic approach to it. Like I can hold both of the polarities. Yeah, I think I just bring a dynamic approach to everything. So like you said, like the spiritual and the like logical, the metaphysical with the like grounded material. Um, yeah, and that's another reason I love working with creatives is like they're very up here, they're very in their head, and I feel like I'm able to like bring them down and bring them into the material world and build a business that can actually sustain the rest of their creativity and like become a container for everything that they want to put forth into the world.
Yeah, which is so essential for obvious reasons, and also I think needed in this time of like freelancing and entrepreneurship being the most accessible it's ever been.
Yes, that was another thing I was going to touch on. Like in the new paradigm, there is such a shift into people leaving corporate, people leaving these old traditional systems. Um, yeah, yeah, there's going to be, there already has been a huge surge in like freelancing and entrepreneurship, but yeah, people carving their own paths.
Yeah, definitely. And we're going to need your help. We do need your help to make sure that we're also, yeah, like having that strong foundation like in ourselves and our creative process, but also that that is like reciprocated or like exists in the 3D world. It's like not enough to just create amazing things. Like if somebody can go and steal it, or you can be sued for using somebody else also had the idea or something similar. So,
And like, what do we ultimately want? Like freedom. And you can't necessarily have that freedom if you're not confident in the business structure, the vessel, the business relationships, the brand protection. Like you can't operate. There's a ceiling to how far you'll be able to go.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like that masculine containment, that masculine structure to allow the creativity to flow and grow within or with. What's something that you didn't expect about stepping into your gifts?
That it would be rewarded so quickly. I mean, not that it was like always like, okay, now it's all sunshine and rainbows, but I feel like I was very quickly gifted by the universe with like amazing clients, amazing opportunities. Even like South by Southwest, like that was my first time applying for South by Southwest. Like that is a big stage to be on. But I just like called it in and I was like, okay, we're ready. We're doing this. Yeah. And I feel like I've just been rewarded for betting on myself and putting myself out there and willing to be seen in being different and bringing my gifts into the world.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah. Again, I think I said this at the start of the episode, but like with your like launch, I mean, like having your baby and then launching the business and then growing it up until now, it's like, and continuing to grow it, it just seems it was such a short timeline. Like if you think about it,
Truly, such a short timeline.
and I'm sure like super full too, like with the milestones. Yeah, it's just interesting to think about how fast things can happen nowadays, which maybe is part of the new paradigm.
Yes, exactly. I completely agree. I completely agree. And like once you have subconsciously put yourself on that fast track, like there you go. Like you're well on your way.
Yeah, I'm expanded about like that of like how fast it can be. So thanks for
Yeah,
that.
and it can be easy.
It can be
It can be easy.
easy.
That's another thing. Like
Yeah.
I've tried to
Ooh.
bring like a lot of ease into all of this. Like I'm not trying to force or like go get a bunch of clients. Like let's go market. Let's go like March, March, March. Like it can really be easy, and every client that is meant for me will find me.
Love
Like
it.
I have total faith in that.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay, last question. What makes your soul feel rich?
Being in alignment in every moment. So, yeah, I think allowing that like fluidity of the day, of whatever's going on, being able to like fully open to whatever it is, like if that's a bath at 2 p.m. because it's nap time and I just need a moment, like that feels so like I feel so rich whenever I am taking my 2 p.m. nap time bath. Like that just I'm like I am the richest woman in the world. Like I've got my beautiful baby, I've got my beautiful business and like I'm taking a bath. Like that feels rich, honestly. And being able to pursue a spiritual path alongside that, which is definitely like not easy. I mean, it's most weekends, and it's a lot of time and it's a lot of like devotion, but it's self devotion, which is like, that makes me feel rich. Being devoted to myself and my path makes me feel very rich.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so beautiful to connect with you. We didn't even say how we connected,
How did
where
we
we
connect?
met.
Oh, I was like, how did we connect again? Yeah,
Yes,
go for
we
it.
met at the
I forgot.
TBM book tour. Random,
Mm-hmm.
like one of those beautiful organic things that just happen whenever you are
Yeah.
putting yourself in places that you naturally align with. Like I was able to meet you randomly in
Yeah.
line,
Getting
and now here we are.
flowers. Yeah.
Yes,
And then we got to spend a whole day at South by together, just like having an
yes,
adventure. That's why I was like, wait, when did we meet? Like, it's been a while now. Like, that was in November.
I know.
But
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah. Well, I'm glad we
yes.
met that day. And I think I like or maybe I didn't cut in line. I did cut in line at one point, I think. But I'm whatever. We all got our flowers. We all got plenty of. I left with an
We
abundance
There
of
were so
flowers that
many.
day. Well, after you left, I they were giving out the fresh flowers, those beautiful fresh flowers, and they had these
Oh,
rare roses,
yeah.
and they sent me with like so many. I was like, I'm not mad about
Ah,
this. This is
oh
amazing.
my God.
Yeah.
That's
So anyway,
incredible.
yeah, that was
I
a
love
magical
that.
day. Yeah,
Yeah, that was such a magical day. I literally just flew up for the book tour.
I
So like
know.
I hopped right back on the plane.
Committed. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It was so
Very
beautiful. And I'm
impressive.
so glad we met.
Yeah, me too. Thank you again for being on. And to all the listeners, I'll see you in the next one.